Hi, this is Rosalie Westerberg, and I want to show you how to complete your required orientation for your CAS class. Now, this is good for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, keyboarding, Publisher. Any of the online classes with Westerberg has a required orientation, and we use Canvas. So you need to be able to get to the internet. So I'm going to click on my Start button, and I'm going to go out to the internet. Now you can use Internet Explorer, you can use Chrome. I'm thinking that you can use Foxfire for this. So I'm going to start out with Internet Explorer, because what you want to do is once you get to Internet Explorer, you want to go to www.cptc.edu. This is the easiest way to find Canvas, which is what we use for our orientation. Now these pictures are going to change. So if you go up to the very top, it will say Welcome, MyCC, Canvas, Employment Staff Login, Contact. Do you see how it says Canvas right there? That's the easiest way to get to Canvas. MyCC, that's a good way to get to your email, to your unofficial transcripts, to register for class. But I'm just going to click on Canvas. It's going to open up a new window, and because I'm in Internet Explorer, down at the bottom it's going to keep popping up something that says Show All Content. There are some ways to change that, but I just go use Chrome instead. So here, the very first screen down at the bottom says that your username is going to be your student ID number. That's the one that starts out with 9, usually 975, unless you've gone to another school and got a different number. But you put in the user ID word, your username. Your password is going to be the first 6 letters of your last name, all in lowercase. Now, if your last name is Tom, you're going to have to still get 6 letters. So you're going to repeat your last name until you have 6 letters. So if it's Tom, it'll be T-O-M, T-O-M. So user ID is the username is your student ID number, password is your last name, 6 characters of it, so that if you don't have 6 characters, you repeat that. Well, I don't really like this Internet Explorer, so I already logged into Chrome, so I'm going to go down to Chrome. Put in your user ID, password, hit login. So when you get to Canvas, when it loads, this very first screen has a lot of information on it. It has some optional orientations for Canvas. If you just want to learn how to do Canvas, and you'll probably want to do that if you have other classes, because I don't do a whole lot in Canvas. It also has orientations, optional orientation. Well, they're more help sessions for me if you want to come in and get a little extra help or if you have questions. If we scroll down a little bit, there's a section here that says, if you encounter media problems with media in the classrooms. So if you're going to try and play a movie and it doesn't go, come here, there's some help. There's also a place that you can call with questions. So this very first screen, the people that manage Canvas on our campus, they've maintained this very first screen. Now, how do you find your class? You go up to Courses and Groups, and it will list all of the classes that are using Canvas this quarter. Now, I'm going to go into keyboarding, but whether you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, Access, they all do the orientation a similar way. They might have different parts to their modules, but we all do it the same way. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the keyboarding. It wants me to log in again. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Now what happens here is, let me go ahead and get into the student view because this is my instructor view. It has a lot of stuff in there. So I'm just going to go over to student view for you. So ignore this part for a moment. Okay, so in the student view, over on the left-hand side, we have home, grades, people, chat, Blackboard Collaborate. That's if we're going to do an online meeting, we could maybe use that. CPTC Tutoring Library, we have some links there. Now let me go ahead and make this picture a little bigger. because at the very beginning there's a course module. When you come into the actual class site, there's going to be a click here to get started. Now if you notice, all of these say must view the page, must view the page, must view the page. You have to work through this sequentially. It means I can't go to one of these other pages until I've looked at all of them before that. If we look over on the right hand side, I see a lot of dates over here, and those are your due dates. This one happens to be for winter quarter for 2014. We might be in spring, we might be in a different quarter by now. But it tells you how many points are on these quizzes. So if you have a due date over here and points, that means that there's something in there that you have to perform. And the little circle with the Q means that it's going to be a quiz. So when we click here to get started, it's going to tell you about your class. This one happens to talk about keyboarding, but it might talk about Word or Excel or Publisher, whatever class you have. So you read through the information, and one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand is this is an online class. I give those optional help sessions just because it's easier if people have questions to come in the first few days of class to get those questions answered. But I will only be on campus that first week of school. I won't be on campus the rest of the quarter. I have other obligations during the time that the campus is open, so I won't be able to be there. So if you need help, make sure you get in within the first few days of the quarter. So you're going to read through this. There is a graded orientation quizzes, which are 4% of your class grade. So you want to be sure to complete all those quizzes. So down at the bottom, there's a little next button. So you're going to hit the next button. And the next button takes you on to the next page. It probably tells you about your first assignment, which is the orientation. So your first assignment is to review the information about completing your class and take the orientation quizzes here in Canvas. Even if you come in and see me, you still have to come out here and take the quiz. Total score of the quizzes is 4% of your class grade, whether it's keyboarding, Word, Publisher, Excel, Access. It doesn't matter, it's 4% of your grade. Now down at the bottom of each page, you're going to have to work through these in sequence. There'll be a next button and there'll be a previous button. If you want to go back, you can click the previous button, or if you want to go back, you can come over here and click on Home, and it will take you back to the list of the different topics in our module here. Now notice how there's a little check mark on the ones that I've viewed, so I get to know where I left off. So I left off on first assignment, so I'm just going to go back there, and it takes me back to that page that I was on. So if you need to stop partway through the assignment, look at where the check marks left off, or note where you left off and click the heading in the module list when you come back. To see your grades, there's a little button over on the left that you can click to go see your grades. People just list other people that are in the class. Chat, I don't really come in here. We're not going to use Canvas after the orientation quiz, so we really don't use a whole lot of stuff in Canvas. Now to view a movie, you just click on the movie. If your movie doesn't open, remember how I said those media instructions were on the first page and there's some phone numbers there? So if there's a movie that you need to review, then you just click the movie. If it doesn't open, then review those instructions when you first log into Canvas, or give them a call at Canvas, or go by one of the Canvas orientations. Now there's some documents in here. You can just right-click the link and click Open Link in a new tab or a new window, whatever you want. Or you can click the icon that looks like a box with an arrow called View a New Window. And I got a little picture down here at the bottom. There's a little square with an arrow on it, View in a New Window. That will actually open up the document in a different window so that you can come down to the bottom here and switch between the different tabs, the different buttons that are down here. Because the quizzes, you're going to read some information, you're going to watch a video, you're going to take a quiz. It'll be nice to have the information there so that you can see the answers. Now you can also expand the document on the same page, and to do that, there's a little piece of paper with a magnifying glass. When you expand that document, you may have to scroll down, but it doesn't really look like there's a scroll bar there. So it's just a little sliver of color. And I'll try and open a document here so that you can see what it looks like. So once we've reviewed this one, I don't have any quizzes here, so I'm going to go on to next. So here, this one happens to be a quiz, and it says you need to access something. It's going to give you some information. Now notice that there's a little movie here, and it has a little play button on it. So if you just click the play button, it will start the movie. Again, if it doesn't, you go back to that first page when you log in, and there's something that talks about what happens if I can't play my videos, or it gives you phone numbers to call.
This live video talks about
so I want to go ahead and not
software.
listen to that one right now. But you'll listen to the videos, watch the videos. I also have some information here. And down at the bottom, there's a little take the quiz button, so I could take the quiz. Or sometimes it will list the quiz questions right below it. So to take the quiz, you click on take the quiz. And I don't think that it grades the quiz until you hit the submit button. So I scroll down here, and there's some true false, multiple choice. These happen to be all true false. But at the bottom, if I'm all done, then I want to make sure that I click submit quiz. If I don't, then what happens is that you're not going to get credit for those guys. Okay, so say that I'm going, oh wait, I don't want to take this quiz yet. So I can just go back to the home. It says you're about to navigate away from this page, so you go ahead and click OK. Now I think that it saves the answers that you put in there, because there's one quiz that's probably about 18 or 20 questions long. So it's pretty long, so you might not be able to take the entire quiz at one time. So notice how we've got the check marks there. And so I'm just going to see if I can get into this next section here. So this one happens to give us more stuff about that site. Now I don't have to take the quiz right at this moment. Notice I can just go on to the next, but you do want to make sure that you get all the quizzes taken. Now here I told you that you could open a document. You can either preview the document right here, and I'm going to do that. I just click the little preview button, and it loads the document, but it doesn't load everything. Notice it doesn't look like a scroll bar, but there is a little bar over here that I can move up and down so that I can look at this. And this is kind of nice. If it's not too long, I might just want to expand it here, take my quiz, and expand it there. My other option was the little box with the window that says view in a new window. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and notice that I have a couple of tabs up here because it's loading that document in a new window. Most of my documents, I think, are PDF files. So down at the bottom here on this browser, if you're in Internet Explorer or another one, it might say something different, but it says this type of file can harm your computer. Do you want to keep it? So I'm going to say keep it because I wanted to open it. So it's going to go ahead and open that. Now, if it doesn't open it, then I'm just going to come and click on this again. But I think that it's say opening in 6 seconds, opening in 0 seconds. And here it opened up that file for me. So now I've got the button for my file, and I've got the button for my Canvas. I can actually make the two screens smaller so that I can have them side by side, so I can go and look up the answers to the questions as I work through. So what happens in your class is that you're going to have a bunch of quizzes that you have to take. The total for all of the quizzes that help you learn how to do your class is going to be 4% of your grade. So I told you about watching the videos, opening files, clicking the quiz buttons, expanding out. I can minimize that file preview with the minimize file preview. Take the quiz. You have to do these in order. If I need to leave, I'm just going to click log out up in the upper right-hand corner. If I want to go back and review something, I can use the back button or click on home over on the left-hand side. And it's going to show me the different modules that are in, the different titles that are in this module. Now there's a few things that you need to do. You're going to learn how to do whatever class you're taking, whether it's Publisher, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, keyboarding. There's going to be different pages on how to do that. It's going to talk about if you need a textbook or what you need to get. If there's other things, there'll be a place where it says save these files. So any files that I have you open, I also have a way for you to save them. So if you have questions later, there's optional in-person help sessions. If you need help online where you want to actually show me something, there's a way to do that. We can just get online in a meeting room and talk to each other, and you can show me what's going on. Now remember I said there's one quiz that's pretty big. This one happens to be 14 points. The general orientation quiz, we have the syllabus, and we have a summary. Now once you've gone through all of these modules, you're done with the orientation. Now notice they all have the same due date, tells you how many points. So the total of all those points is 4% of your grade. Now again, I'm going to go ahead and log out, but I think one moment please. So I'm just going to go ahead and log out, and it takes me back to the screen. Again, to get to the login screen, we go to www.cptc.edu. We click on Canvas up here at the top. Click on Canvas, put in your student ID number, put in your password, which the default password until you change it is the first 6 letters of your name. If you're using Internet Explorer, you're going to get this show all content. You just click that to show everything. That keeps popping up a lot in Internet Explorer. If you have questions though, you can email for help, or you can call them, or once you log in, there are some orientations that they do on how to use Canvas. Okay, this is how you use your Canvas class site to do orientations. Once we've done the orientation, taken the quiz, we don't use Canvas anymore. So at that point, we're going to use whatever software we use for our class. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. We'll see you in the orientation site.